And a lot of the rest of the country wasn't. So that just highlights the division between London and other parts of the country even more, doesn't it?
That would be fair if this was a Remain-Leave rerun. First of all, I don't believe in a rerun of the referendum. I believe we should have a referendum on the terms of the deal, whether we accept the deal. None of us know what it looks like yet. Theresa May doesn't know what it looks like.
That is what we're going to get. Because we voted out, we have to accept what's offered on the deal. That was the whole point of the debate before the referendum, wasn't it?
Only if you're the sort of person who just trusts the Conservatives come what may, in which case, you know, good for you. Or if you're the sort of person who doesn't believe in democracy. I do believe in democracy. There should be a referendum on the terms of the deal. But that's to misunderstood what happened here. You know, remember, the result yesterday was phenomenal, but there were thousands of people who voted Leave in the referendum, who voted Liberal Democrat yesterday, because they are outraged that Theresa May is taking their vote from June and abusing it, essentially, and transforming it into something they never meant it by, to turn the British people's choice into a Nigel Farage vision for our country. And the majority of people in this country, whether they voted Leave or Remain, are decent, open, tolerant people who want a country that is inclusive and outward-looking, whether we're in or out of the European Union. And the vote yesterday was a vote to reject that kind of closed, narrow, Farage-esque approach to our country. Remember that this is just the latest in a long line of successes for the Liberal Democrats. That huge swing in Witney 5 or 6 weeks ago. There have been 23 council by-election gains for us, 13 of them in places that voted Leave. What we're really seeing is a strong moderate opposition against the Conservatives, filling the space Labour should be in, giving people some hope.
Mr Farron, apologies. I'm trying to interrupt to ask a question because you were talking a lot. There's a certain irony to the fact that the planes are flying over so noisily this morning, where you are in Richmond, because Zach Goldsmith stood down because the government was supporting the third runway at Heathrow, something that your candidate, who has now won the position, also objects to. Now, that's not going to change. The third runway is still going to be there. And the reality is that actually the Conservatives didn't put up a candidate yesterday, that there was no choice for the people that had voted for a Conservative candidate in the last election. There was no choice for them because Zach Goldsmith stayed as an independent. And actually, the narrow majority, had the Conservatives put somebody up, do you think you would have taken that seat?
I suspect we'd have won it by a lot more if there was a Conservative candidate who actually wore the blue rosette. But remember, there were far more Tory MPs came to visit here to support Zach than there were Liberal Democrat MPs who came to support Sarah. This was a Conservative campaign in all but name.
But you did roll out all the stops, though, Tim. You rolled out all the stops to make sure that the presence that Sarah had in and around the area...
There were more...
But there's more Tory MPs full stop, isn't there? You've only got 8 or 9.
Well, you've just made my point for me. Thank you. Yes, there were plenty of Tory MPs here backing Zach.
But you can't suggest that you weren't trying to make a loud noise about Sarah only being a viable candidate like the Tories may have been.
Well, so I don't see why I should have anything to be ashamed of in fighting an energetic campaign and doing something that no other party has had the courage to do in the last 5 months since the referendum, and say to the British people, look, the terms of the deal, or what happens at the end of our exit from the European Union, should be presented to the British people, that we should not be accepting an extreme version of Brexit that will impoverish our country, limit the opportunities for our children and our grandchildren, and make us less influential, less relevant around the world. There are loads of people here who are just admiring the Emperor's new clothes. We're the only people who have the backbone and the courage to say the Emperor is wearing no clothes. And we are standing up firm, and that is what happened yesterday. That is why we won yesterday. What this country needs, not just on Brexit, but on the NHS, on the state of the economy, it needs a strong, decent, moderate opposition that believes in an open, tolerant and united country. The Labour Party have shuffled off the stage. The Liberal Democrats are filling that space, and there are millions of people in this country this morning will wake with a spring in their step, thinking, thank goodness, somebody is taking on this Tory Brexit government and has won.